Welcome to Prime Sports Media, baby! Ha 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 ha!
All right, everybody, welcome to Prime Sports Media. I'm your host. Let's get in it right now. Let's get into this right now. Coach Prime has got a lot of haters out there. You got people out there talking all type of smack since he's come over from Jackson State over to Colorado. Let's keep this in mind. Coach Prime didn't play any games. He knew that he had a really bad football team, football program that he had to overhaul. According to the statistics, they were, 1-11 just a year ago in their last season. So this whole thing about, he's forcing young men out, he told them from the very beginning. Did we forget when he first approached these young men and he said, hey, there's guys in the audience that should be here that's not here. I'm letting you know it's going to be a different move, a different feeling, a different way we think about playing football here. And if you're down with that, stay aboard. If you're not, there's a transfer portal. However, if you get into the transfer portal, there's no guarantee. Deion Sanders said that to these young men, and you got all type of haters in the mainstream media because look, we live in a society where they build you up to tear you down, and they're looking. Look, with Coach Primetime, it's damn if he do, damn if he don't. If he builds this team up and brings in new players, he's wrong for that. If they lose, if he keeps the same team that they had from a year ago and they lose, they'll be saying, let's run Deion out of town. So these sports media out there, mainstream, they're so fickle. Everybody's got something to say about how he's going about things. Yes, he lost players in the transfer portal after the spring game. He's lost players. He's gained players. This is the name of the game. This is the first time they've had a sort of what I would call a free agency type of style in college football. You never had this. So we're on new ground here. And look, I don't blame the kids who want to leave and go to other places, but don't try to blame this on Coach Prime as if other coaches in the country are not benefiting as well from players transferring to them. Look, let me let you hear a hater who had this to say about Prime as if Prime's just throwing kids right out the door. Let me let you hear this right here.
The new way of doing business in college football. Visionary, or is this really unethical?
Here we go.
Colorado hires Deion Sanders. He comes in like a tornado in Boulder.
First of all, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, didn't create the rules. He didn't create the rules of transfer portal. That was the NCAA. And first of all, for years, nobody complained for years when they were raking over the codes of these players, mistreating these players. When these players wanted to transfer to another school, they had to give up a year of eligibility. No one talks about how all these other coaches in NCAA football, how they make all this money, how the NCAA was making all this money off of bowl games, and now that players can get paid through the NIL, and now that Coach Primetime has come on board as a head coach in a Power 5, and he's in the transfer portal, now all of a sudden there's all this stuff about, tampering, this is foul play, this is BS, this is just hate. And here we go, let's hear some more of this nonsense.
They love everything he says, what he says he stands for, etc. Here we are coming out of spring football. 52 Colorado players in the transfer portal. And they didn't all go voluntarily. Deion Sanders came in and ran all these guys off.
No, that's a damn lie. He didn't come in and just run them off. He told them what was up. See, people in the mainstream, they get paid to tell a lot of BS, to sensationalize things. Let's go back and hear what Deion really said to the players. I've got some good stuff here for you folks. Hang in there with me.
And we got to go win this championship. We're going to do that. But then shortly thereafter, I just want you to know, I'm coming. Not to compete, but to win.
Tell the truth.
Not to show up, but to show out. Not to be amongst the rest, but to be the best. I'm coming. I'm flat out coming. This is real. This ain't no ESPN or this ain't one of the networks you just happen to see on. I'm right in front of you. You know why? Because I'm coming. I'm coming to restore, to replace, to
You can see Deion is saying this is not about ESPN and all the stuff you see on TV. This is real. And he inherited a bad football team, and he had to rehaul this football team. This is what people don't get as they criticize him.
energize. Some of y'all that are salvageable. I'm not gonna lie, everybody that sit their butt in the seat ain't gonna have a seat when we get back. But I'm coming. I started, and we gonna go dominate, and we gonna work.
Why would a player not have a seat? He said in this meeting that there's players that should be here that are not in those seats. And that's just the way it works. See, I think part of the problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that we live in a world now where a lot of these young players have grown up, I'm sorry, I gotta be honest, on participation trophies. I'm a Gen Xer. So we live in a society where people want you to coddle people. And I'm just sorry, this is the world of high stakes college football. You go there to get an education, but when it comes to sports, it's high stakes. You either can play or you can't play. That's reality. This ain't little league football where everybody gets a participation trophy. And this is just, he was honest with these kids from the very beginning. Let's continue to hear.
I'm coming. So you gotta understand, so when I get back, there ain't gonna be no hats, no meetings, there ain't gonna be no hoodies on and no meetings, there ain't gonna be no phone. I wish you would bring a phone in my meeting. There ain't gonna be no earrings in the meeting. Everybody's gonna look like everybody. I'm coming. It's gonna be a different place, a different feel, a different attitude, a different energy, a different work ethic, a different want, a different hunger, a different desire, a different need, a different capacity. It's gonna be a different reach. I'm coming. See, by now you gotta feel it. You can feel what I'm saying. You can feel where I'm coming from. And you know I ain't playing because
As Deion Sanders said at that time, he's coming. You're about to feel the force of what he's bringing. And so there are kids who probably cannot handle the approach that Deion Sanders is taking to building this team. There's some kids that can hang in there and take this on. And there's some kids that are probably leaving because they don't know if they're going to get the playing time that they desire because he's bringing in more players. You can make an argument that he's sort of doing like an NFL type of style where he's bringing in those free agents through the transfer portal. And this is good to reshape a team. Now, this is what he was inheriting. This is what these naysayers failed to reinforce. And this is right here. Look at this article right here. Remember, this is a team that went 1-11. 1-11. This article that came out said, let's celebrate the worst in college football. So Colorado was one of the worst in college football, playing against another team, which was South Florida, which was also 1-11 in the comeback.com bowl. Okay, two really bad teams. This is what brother Deion Sanders inherited, folks. He inherited a very piss poor football team. Now, I'm going to play you a video down the line by Joe Klein. And he made this initial data that I'm going to jump on you, give you, not jump on you, ladies and gentlemen, but tell you right now. Check this out. Do you know that Colorado, in 10 of their football games, within 10 of their games in that season of going 1-11, they lost most of their games, all 10 of them, by 23 points. This is how bad, how piss bad the football team was. Coach Primetime is inheriting a football team that was losing games by 23 points. That means they were bad on defense, offense, special teams, you name it. They were bad on all of it. And you got the nerve, those of you out there criticizing him, to saying, what is he doing with kids leaving? Those kids are leaving because they probably either can't hang with his program, they don't want to be there, either they're concerned about their playing time, you know? And if he doesn't reshape this football team and he goes out there with the same football team that they had a year ago and they start losing again the same way, everybody's going to be saying, oh my God, Coach Primetime is a big old bust. And you guys know you're going to criticize him and you'll have a lot to say. And it won't be pretty at all when you criticize him. So let's keep this in mind. He told you from the get-go what he was going to do. Here's another situation in a press conference where he was asked questions. Listen to this.
Don't weed anyone out. They weed themselves out. We don't make them quit. They quit. Or I don't want to say quit. They jump in the transfer portal. You call that what you want. Okay? Before a national televised game, before a sellout crowd. So you call it what you want. Okay? So it is what it is. It is what it is. It is
Sanders
what it is.
Boom. As he says right there, it is what it is. He doesn't force anyone out. He gives them a choice. They make a choice to either stay, right, or go. And the reality is, even if these kids stay, it doesn't mean that they're all going to start. They're all going to get the same amount of playing time, because this isn't high school football. This isn't little league football. This is high stakes college football. Come on now. It's one step below NFL level. Are we coddling people now? And most of these, now I know there's a situation with the other player who they didn't want to give him practice tape, what have you. But those players that left were players that were on that piss poor team. You play the game to win, and you can't win football if you don't have the dogs to win. Now, Deion said this. You're going to hear several clips from him in other press conferences where he explained this already, and the haters are still out here talking. Here we go.
That's what spring is for. Now we can assess the talent and make the proper adjustments from the portal shortly thereafter. And I love that, because there's going to be a lot of talent in the portal shortly thereafter to garnish. Change has to be provoked, and that's why we're here. If it was great, I wouldn't be here. We just got to find the type of kids that are who we are, and we will.
And I want to say shout out to the association. The association had this clip on his channel. So I just want to say shout out to that, brother. I believe that you should give credit to people on these YouTube streets. But Deion is explaining already. So what is everybody hating? Why do we have people like this running their mouth?
All right. Here's the question. The new way of doing business in college football. Visionary, or is this really unethical? Colorado hires Deion.
Bullshit. Unethical. Basically trying to say that Deion is unethical. Let's hear the rest of Deion in these various press conferences, ladies and gentlemen.
Expeditiously. But I don't want them to get misguided, because what you see is not what you're going to see. You heard that? What you see is not what you're going to see. Okay? And that's a loaded response.
He just told you that what you see from the 1-11 team that lost games at the rate of 23 points is not the team you're going to see when they suit up. Keep this in mind. Deion is also going to be inviting people to a tryout. If you didn't get recruited in high school, or you got overlooked in your JUCO program, he's got some dates. May 3rd, 2023. Summer postgraduate camp. Elite camp, May 31st this year. June 7th, June 14th. Get out there and show him what you can do. Deion Sanders means business. This team is not going to be the same. Even some of the players that are still there right now, who knows, they may leave. But he's doing what he's got to do. Let's continue some more of this.
You all know that we're going to move on from some of the team members, and we're going to reload and get some kids that we really identify with. So this process is going to be quick. It's going to be fast, but we're going to get it done. The team that we're playing with now is not the team that we're going to play with in Texas the first game. Do I need to say any more?
All right. Look, as the Coach Prime just said, does he need to say any more, ladies and gentlemen? He has said what is need to be said. How many times does he have to keep saying to you all knuckleheads out there what he's trying to do? He inherited a junk team, and he's got to rebuild it. And if he does not, you guys are going to rake him over the coals if he loses games with a bad football team. Can't have it both ways. You either want the man to win, he says we're coming, Or you want to have people like this that will criticize him?
Sanders.
Listen
He
to this
comes
again.
in like a tornado in Boulder. They love everything he says, what he says he stands for, etc. Here we are coming out of spring football. 52 Colorado players in the transfer portal.
Okay, big deal. It was a bad football team. There's going to be some rehaul. You don't think that Urban Meyer or Nick Saban, when he went to Alabama, when they had a bad football team, that he didn't have to rehaul everything? It's just that those guys don't have the flamboyantness and they don't have the prime time. They don't have that it factor like Coach Prime. Now, let's hear from Joe Klein, who is actually an alumni. This is fair use for education purposes, for criticism, to learn. But he is an alumni of Colorado, and he has inside track on what's going on. Let's hear him explain this as well, and he's going to reinforce some things that you just heard me say not too long ago. Let's hear from him right now.
The prime effect. So that's what we're living through right now. Okay, let's start with my thoughts on this roster turnover. Let's start with this. And listen, you all weren't born under a rock. You know that as an alum that I have some information that you all probably don't, and that a lot of the writers don't. Okay, so
Fair use.
I just want to tell you, flat out, this was always the plan. Hell, Deion said it. What do you think Louis is? In the first meeting he had with these players, he laid out exactly what was going to happen over the next few months. Now, if you want to say that that's not right and that you don't like it, that is your prerogative. And I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong, because that's your opinion. It's your prerogative. You can say it's not good for the sport, it's bad for those kids. I totally understand that. I am someone that said several times over the last couple of years that I think firing coaches early in October is bad. Late in September, early October is bad, because you can lose the locker room. Texas Tech fans still can't get over the fact that I didn't love the way it went down with Matt Wells. Even though I can love the Joey McGuire hire, they can say like, whoa, you didn't think that was fair. Some people don't think this is fair to the kids that are at work, that are at Colorado. And you know what? That's totally within your purview to have that opinion. But you can't say that they were blindsided. Okay, so this was the plan. It was the plan behind the scenes. It was the plan to the kid's face. He said it in a colorful way. What did you think he meant when he said, I'm bringing my luggage and it's Louis? I mean, he wasn't referring to literal luggage, right? So this was the plan. And the next point that I'm going to make here, and then we'll go into some data. What did you think he was going to do? So those that are upset right now, again, you can feel that way. Number one, I don't feel like he was being disingenuous to the players. Now, you can feel like they've got a raw deal. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine, and I understand that. However, what was he supposed to do? Keep them? See, because I actually think that would be like suicide, coaching suicide for Deion Sanders. Let's just go through the data. Deion Sanders gets hired at Colorado, and just like every new head coach, he's going to go in there and evaluate what's on the team, whether it's prior to spring ball or during spring ball. You have to evaluate what's on the team. Guess what he evaluated? Guess what he saw? Guess what he looked at when he turned on the film? He saw a 1-11 team, but it wasn't just a 1-11 team, because we've seen teams go winless and be a one-win team before. He saw a team that lost 10 games by at least 23 points. 23. 10 games, not 5, not 4.
All right, everybody, there it is. He told it like it is. He told the truth. They lost most of their 10 games by 23 points. With that said, everybody, thank you for watching the program. Do me the biggest favor and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. Also, to those of you who have subscribed to this channel, I really appreciate your support and subscribing to this channel. It makes me feel really good. It's a young channel and we're still building it up. And I want to say to you again, thank you for watching. And I want to say, make sure you like the video and make a comment, and also subscribe, because I definitely would appreciate that too as well. So with that said, everybody, we're going to get ready to mosey on out of here. Once again, this is Prime Sports Media. Y'all take care. Peace, everybody.
I just need a moment.
Prime Sports Media, baby.
To feel a little more before I open my eyes. It feels like I was chosen to give a little more, to feel a little more before I open my eyes. I just took the red pill. I've been moving different when they see me, watch they hit till. If I don't get it, then the rest will. They ain't checking on a nigga, no more running on the treadmill. Please don't trip. Please don't trip. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. It's not to give it all.
Well, during the timeout, they were waiting all night.
We recruiting this weekend. And we ain't just recruiting. We recruiting. And I just brought several recruits up here and I showed them this.
All this.
It's the loudest ovation, not for a KJ Simpson 3, but Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has entered the building.
Every coach talks about creating culture, creating an environment.
Prime Sports Media, baby. Yes, thank you again.